said in a radio interview, when his boy grows up, he will tell him he called it straight. Wait, hold up, what you talking about? It's obvious she lied under oath. You should accuse yourself. You give money to her campaign. Bow your head, then again, your people have no shame. Fanny G. Willis, that she is for ghetto. Sky, hear me though. Yo, McAfee, the coward, bro. Y'all hear me though. McAfee, the coward, bro. Y'all hear me though. Nathan Tech Deck, yo. They both ghetto though. Y'all are so ghetto, bro. Politics, culture, religion. What is the vision?
Welcome to Random Thoughts. Rayshawn Blyden here. Let's not waste any time and get right into this. So I first want to start by saying the video that I played before I started to speak here speaks for itself. What a coward this man is in Judge Scott McAfee. You know, he had a radio interview. I'm not sure how long ago that radio interview was, but he said, and I quote, well, I'm not going to quote because I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly, but he said that his boy is not old enough to know what's going on right now, but his hope is when he grows up and his boy asks, he can look his boy in the eye and said, I called it straight down the middle. What a crock that is. So let's start with this first. Give me a second. Let's go with this. Let's listen in on this.
Earlier today, we spoke to Josh Hammer about the judge's ruling on District Attorney Fani Willis. Hammer is senior editor-at-large for Newsweek and host of America on Trial. He's also an attorney and legal scholar. Josh Hammer, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you back on the show.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, Judge Scott McAfee has ruled that District Attorney Fani Willis can continue to prosecute the 2020 election interference case.
Let's stop right there. I mean, how could you rule this way? Essentially, he really is a dirty, low-down, stinking coward. There's no way around it. He tried to please both sides, and, you know, we'll get to my other point when he said that he having someone running against him doesn't influence his decision at all. What a crock. I mean, this guy, let's continue.
If Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade is removed, what does this mean for Trump's case in Georgia?
You know, it's really interesting. I mean, this whole saga has been absolutely fascinating for the past roughly 2 months or so. So one of the key arguments that Trump and his co-defendants' lawyers and Fani Willis's lawyers, one of the key parts that they were disputing was what the legal standard should be to require a district attorney's recusal. And what Trump's lawyers were arguing was that it would even just be the appearance of corruption, the appearance of a conflict of interest.
Now, let's stop right there. Even Stevie Wonder can see that there was definitely not appearance, but there was actual conflict of interest throughout this whole entire thing. I mean, I'm not a judge or an attorney, but I can clearly see the conflict of interests. Now, how in the world can this ghetto lady hire her inadequate boyfriend before they give him this big case when he have no idea how to even begin to manage to do well on a RICO case? He's never done a RICO case in his entire life. This is a guy who's making $700,000 of the taxpayers' money. I'd be curious to know if Georgians is going to be stupid enough to vote her back in. It is just ridiculous. I mean, how in the world could this judge say that there was no proof of corruption? Are you stupid? The lady says, "Oh, I paid him back by money. I have a stash of cash." Give me a break. Judge McAfee, you're an idiot.
On the contrary, you had Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade's lawyers who said, no, you actually need to demonstrate an actual conflict of interest, not a mere appearance.
Again, there was many conflicts of interest, many conflict of interest, but I digress.
Based on my reading of the opinion this morning, it seems like Judge McAfee actually agreed with Trump's attorneys. He actually said that a mere appearance of a conflict of interest is sufficient under Georgia law to either justify or outright mandate a district attorney's recusal from a case. However
What? Let's listen to what nonsense this is.
Rather than just do the natural thing and then say, okay, once I establish this, I'm going to go ahead and recuse you, he basically tried to appease all sides.
Exactly. You cannot do that. You're supposed to be a man of the law. You idiot. You look your son in your eye when he grows up and tell him that daddy was a freaking stinking coward.
I'm not sure if that's going to hold up. I mean, Trump's going to be able to appeal this thing.
Of course it's not going to hold up.
To the Georgia Court of Appeals. Ultimately, it probably will go to the Georgia Supreme Court. Now, the silver lining for Trump is twofold. One is that it looks like Fonnie Willis, the world saw what she is. That evidentiary hearing with her.
Yes, the world sees that she's a ghetto trash lady.
Infamous testimony on the witness stand, that's probably going to taint a jury pool. So that's good news for Trump. Furthermore, the timeline here is getting us very, very, very close at this point to the November election, and it's only going to get delayed more. As I was saying, he's going to appeal this thing to the Georgia Court of Appeals. So, long story short, not an ideal day for Trump, but it's actually not the end of the world either.
Legal analyst Jonathan Turley is also weighing in. He is saying that in some ways it is a result that should please no one other than Donald Trump, adding the defense removed the lead special prosecutor while leaving Willis carrying more baggage than Amtrak. What do you make of...
He's not wrong on that about the baggage. I would argue she's carrying more baggage than the whole airlines, all of them put together, because she's a ghetto fabulous.
His assessment here.
Yeah, look, Fonnie and Nathan have a lot of baggage. I mean, that is clearly not much of an exaggeration from Jonathan Turley. The factual details are very, very shady. I mean, you had the idea that Nathan Wade is taking her on these big cruise ships.
That's the other thing. I mean, this lady lied, he lied, Terrence Bradley lied, and this judge just closes his eye to the whole thing. I predict that he will be voted out, and Fanny Pack Ghetto Willis will be voted out as well.
And then she's paying him back in cash because she said that her daddy told her to store cash.
Her daddy, my butt. Give me a break.
In the household when she was growing up. And then you had this investigator, this geolocation kind of cell service fancy investigator that Trump's lawyers had retained. And a couple weeks ago, we saw the results of his investigation where he saw that there were literally thousands and thousands of interactions between Fonnie and Nathan in the year leading up to the November 2021 commencement of her prosecution. In other words, they were sleeping at each other's house before this investigation even launched. So,
exactly. How did the judge justify letting this trashy ghetto lady go?
It looks really bad. I mean, it looks very, very bad for Fonnie Willis. And again, I do think that's going to taint a potential future jury pool, which is probably one of the many reasons that Judge McAfee should have just disqualified her and kicked this.
Of course he should have. Look at him. You trash.
Thing out of Fulton County, Georgia in the first place.
Josh Hammer, thank you so much for your time.
Unbelievable. This man is total coward. I don't know how else to put it. He's a coward. I didn't mean to make myself disappear, but I should make myself he should make himself disappear. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am. Let's see. What else do I have here? No, I don't want that. All right, let's read some of what he wrote. I'm not going to read all 23 pages of this. You can search for this and read it all for yourself, but let's just read some of this stuff. In the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Donald J. Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and all the other defendants. Indictment number 23 SC 188947. Order on defendants' motions to dismiss and disqualify the Fulton County District Attorney. This is a lot of stuff he had. I wish there was a summary. Let's see. On January 8, 2024, defendant Roman filed a motion to dismiss the indictment and disqualification the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Okay, we're not going to read all this stuff. Let's see what, let's see, actual conflict of interest. Our highest courts consistently remind us that prosecutors are held to a unique and exacting professional standard. Not this ghetto fabulous lady. Okay, let's get to where he, this is just, I'm not going to go through all this. I'm disgusted. I don't know how else to put it. Oh, I am disgusted with this whole thing. I mean, evil is just running rampant. And I mean, I know evil will be defeated sooner or later. You can't keep doing evil things and expect that nothing's going to happen to you, because we know that that's just not how the world works. Something will happen to you. It really will. Let's just
Isn't it true that you met Mr.
Hold on a second here. We're going to we're gonna do a little recap. We're gonna look at Nathan Wade being questioned, and you're gonna tell me that this judge is that stupid and blind? Hold on. I just gotta cue this up because I'm so fed up with this whole thing. It's really quite annoying. But let's cue this up and let's just do a recap on this.
So the affidavit that you submitted, you showed on it, you submitted one record that showed that Miss Willis had paid a couple $100s for one flight, correct?
Say again?
Yeah.
No, look at his face. You can tell that this is the face of a lying, dirty, low-down bum. There's no other way of putting it.
Affidavit that you submitted to this court showed that Miss Willis had paid for one flight several $100s. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. I think that. Are you drawing a distinction for her paying for a flight or for her actually booking a flight? Because those are two separate things.
I'll re-ask it. The affidavit you filed in this court, you alleged that Miss Willis paid for one flight. Paid for one flight, correct?
No, ma'am.
You did not allege she paid for one flight.
No, ma'am. What I allege is that our travel was split roughly evenly. So where you see I have booked the flight or I've paid for a flight with my credit card, what you don't see is that she covered her own flight
Where's the IRS in this? So this ghetto fabulous Fannie Ghetto Willis claimed that I paid with a stash of money. I'm curious to know if the IRS are gonna now go after her for doing what she did, essentially embezzlement in a sense. I can't listen to him anymore. Let's see the ghetto fabulous lady herself.
I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of this merchant. 3 filings.
She's so ghetto, dude. I can't stand her. She's a ghetto evil witch. Just look at her. Pure get. I can imagine how she acts in her office.
Filings of this merchant. Does the court have the 3 filings of this merchant?
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
She just goes in there like, "Hey, I'm ghetto fabulous." She acts like she runs the place, but who knows? She probably knew she was gonna get away with this. She probably had that judge in her back pocket. I mean, after all, he did donate to her, and so did his wife as well.
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we could locate those for you. Supplemental.
She's so ghetto. I just want to punch my God forgive. I want to just punch my monitor. I can't stand
If
her.
you want to take a break to get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one.
Just look at her.
The copy I have is going to have my notes on it. So if we don't have a clean copy,
Have a 5-minute break, Your Honor.
Let's
I'll get
take
the docs.
Okay, I can't look at her face. I can't look at her face. I can't. I've had enough of her. But this judge is an embarrassment and a disgrace. And he's claimed that, when his son grows up, he's going to say that he can look him straight in the eye. Look him straight in the eye and tell him what, Judge Mackey? What are you going to tell your kid? Oh, I did the best I could? Are you kidding me? The best you could with what? The best you could with what? Tell me, Judgy. You make me so mad. Come on, let's just see. Let's see what's in the news right now in regards to this. Let's see. Okay, so just looking through my notes here. Let's just scan through some of this. We're gonna. What is this? Trump says this issue is a top concern for choosing his VP. Let's see. We're not gonna do that one. Tyson Foods fires hard-working American employees and instead hires illegal immigrants. Okay, this, this was just going to be about ghetto fabulous, but let's just do a quick rundown of some news and see what's going on here. Let's go first with, what did I just say here? With the Tyson Foods. I mean, let's just cue this up. Ridiculous. I don't eat Tyson. I don't buy Tyson chicken. I kind of make it a point not to. Not that I'm advocating for boycotting. People do what they want to do. But I myself don't eat it. So let's read this story here. Tyson Foods fires hard-working American employees and instead hires illegal immigrants. Why not? They're cheap. Welcome to 2024, where it is more beneficial to be an illegal immigrant in the United States than a U.S.-born hard-working law-abiding citizen. Speaking of China, just popped into my mind. I have to research it, so I'm not going to say anything until I until I have until I look this up in regards to the roads from where I was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Who is paying and funding that? I can't believe it. That's a Chicoms, but I'll have to follow up on that and talk about that in a different video. But Tyson Foods is facing criticism and calls to be boycotted over the company reportedly firing its employees and hiring illegal immigrants in their place. According to Bloomberg, just days after Tyson's Perry, Iowa location fired more than 1,200 American workers, the company announced that it has partnered with a non-profit refugee keyword illegal immigrants group. I'm sorry, Chip threw me off. He's in the other room and he's having a nightmare. I can hear him barking in his sleep. 10th partnership for they use refugees. I'm going to call them what they are, illegal immigrants, hiring thousands of asylum seekers instead. Let me rephrase that. Thousands of illegal immigrants instead. The food company reportedly recently had a fair in Iowa for immigrants to attend as American workers remain without paychecks. Tyson Foods also created a database of tens of thousands of illegal alien workers that they plan to replace American workers with, offering $16.50 an hour wages and free immigration lawyers. Are you listening to this? Tyson recently hired tens of dozens of illegal immigrants from Venezuela, Mexico, and Colombia doing a job fair in New York. Start spreading the news. Charlie Kirk on X says, the great replacement in action. Tyson Foods is firing American workers and replacing them with illegals. Adding insult to injury, Tyson Foods will also provide lawyers to help with immigration hearings. Disgraceful, and he's calling for a boycott of Tyson Foods.
Iowa is about to change drastically, and not for the better. This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people. So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers.
Of course.
The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook. You see a worker you like, tap, hire.
Wow.
They even had a job fair.
So you were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application.
Are you listening to this? If you're American and you still want to eat Tyson chicken after this, it's up to you. It is insane. Let's continue reading. It is illegal under federal law to discriminate against American citizens based on their citizenship in favor of non-citizens. I should read this again. It is illegal, keyword illegal, illegal, illegal under federal law to discriminate against American citizens based on their citizenship in favor of non-citizens, keyword illegal immigrants of any kind when it comes to employment. America First Legal said, adding that Tyson is breaking the law by favoring illegal immigrant workers over Americans. Someone need to do a class action lawsuit here. The outlet also noted that the company has not only set millions of dollars aside for the immigrants' legal fees, but will also provide housing, on-site childcare, transportation, and paid time off to attend court hearings. Are you freaking kidding me? Tyson CEO Donnie King, who makes up to $30 million a year, has funded the campaigns of President Joe Biden, Nikki Haley, and others, according to Open Secrets. Of course, why wouldn't he? The company already has about 42,000 immigrants working for them among its 120,000 U.S. workforce. We would like to employ another 42,000 if we could find them, Tyson employee Garrett Dolan told the outlet, and they're openly not bashful about this. Why, you say? Well, Elon Musk said it best. Clearly the Democrats are losing black people who are waking up to their nonsense 50 years later or more. It's about time, I guess. Better late than never. The majority of new hires are going to come from refugees and immigrants, so we're now in the business of strategically thinking that through. Tyson is closing its factory in Perry, Iowa, and laying off its 1,200. This is just insane. Insane. Really, some really bad stuff, folks. I don't know what else to say about this. This is insane. It truly is insane. Would you say that this makes any sense? Keeping on illegal immigrants, which seems to be this is purposely done. But DeSantis, he seized a boat from entering Florida with 25 illegal Haiti immigrants, firearms, and drugs. Unreal. Let's cue this one up, baby. Cue this up one more time. So, I just read the headline, not going to read it again. Good to see you back in Florida as a governor where you belong. You should have never ran for president this time around. You should have known that this is Trump's time. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what he's doing that's really good. As a new illegal immigration concern impacts the United States, Governor Ron DeSantis announced that his state interdicted suspected illegal aliens fleeing Haiti. On Friday, DeSantis said Florida stopped a boat filled with 25 illegal immigrants, firearms, and drugs from landing in his state on February 29. He also confirmed that 5 of them were unaccompanied children. The governor said that the illegal immigrants were part of a human smuggling operation. DeSantis expressed his frustration and criticism of the Biden administration for failing to do its job because they want them here. They want them here. That's the bottom line. They want them here. But let's listen to DeSantis talk here about it.
Forces that are going to continue to keep the people of Florida safe. Just recently, within the last couple of weeks, and this will be made public later today, our Florida Fish and Wildlife officers interdicted a vessel that had 25 illegal immigrants, potential illegal immigrants from Haiti, in their boat, in their vessel. They had firearms, they had drugs, they had night vision gear, and were boating very recklessly, which would potentially endanger other folks. So that vessel was interdicted near the Sebastian Inlet. and those illegal aliens were turned over to the Coast Guard for deportation. So
Very good.
Our folks have been doing this before we augmented this, and they're going to continue to do it. And we've got an incredible amount of resources that are now on display to be able to prevent. Now, what's different today than maybe in the past? Well, part of it is we have more resources that the state has been willing to put up, and this is not really our responsibility. This is the federal government's responsibility. Coast Guard does by and large a good job, but they're undermanned, they're under-resourced, so we're filling those gaps. I think one difference now is, and we see this with our folks that we have at the border, you have people coming across the southern border from all over the world. Haitians can get to the United States easier by flying to Mexico and walking across the border.
Wow.
So I would anticipate if flights resume, that will likely be where a lot of those folks who are trying to flee, if they want to come to the United States, they're probably going to go to Mexico and then come in through the border, knowing that Biden will just let everybody in. Also think it's important to...
Exactly. Biden will just let everyone in. Again, they're losing black people and Hispanic people, I would argue as well. And so they filled it with legal citizenships is what I'm talking about when it comes to Hispanics, not the, they call them the I'm not going to even use the word undocumented, the illegals. That's who they want to fill in the gap for their voter base. They want to have the illegals pad up their numbers because people are leaving left and right. Let's see, what else do we have here? What else do we have? I am looking. Let's see. Critics urge Kamala Harris to step aside amid failing polls. I'm not only want to talk about her. I don't want to talk about her. Let's see. What else do we got? New report reveals catastrophic errors made during the COVID response. Okay, let's dive into this. This is probably the last one I'm going to end on this note here. Let's dive into this. New report reveals catastrophic, as we already read the headlines. A newly released report found that several catastrophic errors were made. And what are they? According to a report published this week by a non-profit committee to unleash prosperity, that's CTUP, lockdowns, school closures, and draconian vaccine mandates were major problems when dealing with the efforts of the pandemic that took rights away from Americans. Titled COVID Lessons Learned, a retrospective after 4 years, the report offers 10 lessons that leaders of the country need to learn to not make the same mistakes twice. Conventional wisdom pre-COVID was that communities respond best to pandemics when the normal social functioning of the community is least disrupted. The authors wrote, during COVID, the public health established followed the opposite principle. They intentionally stoked and amplified fear. Well, that's what Democrats and liberal people do. Remember what they always say, never let a good crisis go to waste. That's their motto. So of course they're going to stoke fear. But I digress, which overlaid enormous economic, social, educational, and health harms on top of the harms of the virus itself. The authors added, that the World Health Organization, that's WHO, did not have the power to set laws or mandates for people the way they did. Of course, that's the problem. People, if you're not, you have to wake up, because if you don't know your rights, they will lie, cheat, and steal and make you feel like they could make you do anything because you'll feel like they can. And as this report said here, they didn't even have the right to take that power and set laws and to mandate. They advised term limits for senior health agency positions and to limit their powers. SARS-CoV-2 was a dangerous virus, but a calm, proportionate response would have applied the lessons from the past influenza pandemics and use existing pandemic response plans instead. Also remember, they did not want Trump to have two back-to-back terms. They want him out of there, so they never let a good crisis go to waste. Mail-in ballots and all the rest of it. I don't need to get into it. We know what happened in 2020. We're not stupid and blind. And platforms like I'm speaking on here, except Rumble, I could say there, and they're not gonna ban or take it down for me telling the truth about what happened in 2020. But I digress. Let's keep reading here. The authors pointed out how the months-long lockdowns did not reduce deaths or help stem the spread. Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. A much wiser strategy than ensuing lockdown orders would have been to tell the American people the truth. The truth? They think we can't handle the truth. They think we can't handle the truth. That's what. Well, I wouldn't even say they don't think that we can't handle the truth. They don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to know the truth. So, anyway, yeah, very, very dangerous times we're living in. We have to elect Trump, and we cannot let the same thing that happened in 2020 happen again. And I don't need to explain what happened. We know what happened. We know exactly what happened. So hopefully there's not a repeat, because Trump had said this before, but it's so true right now. The company cannot survive another 4 years of the walking, sleepy, dead, dementia Biden. We just can't. We can't. We really cannot afford that, because it's all over. It'll be all over if we allow this to happen. It really will be all over. So, anyway, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, I shouldn't. We should end with what this video was supposed to be about in the Ghetto Fabulous Fannie G. Ghetto Willis, with the latest about Nathan. He was the judge. Essentially, he gave her a slap in the hand and said, "No, bad Fannie. You have two choices. You either disqualify yourself or get rid of Nathan." Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. What's the surprise, you ask? Hold on. This is the surprise. Well, no, that's not the surprise. This is the surprise right here. Right here, what does it say? Did you expect anything else? Nathan Wade resigns in disgrace. Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade is resigning in disgrace after the judge's disqualification decision Friday forced Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Ghetto Willis to choose between dropping Wade, her lover, whom she appointed to helm the prosecution, or recusing herself. Now, this woman is the most evil, ghettoist, narcissistic person. You really, who raised your hand if you thought that she really was going to recuse herself? But Wade is being offered as the sacrificial lamb so Willis can continue overseeing Trump case. Wade sent a resignation letter telling Willis he is throwing in the towel effectively immediately. I am offering my resignation in the interest of democracy, in dedication, I bet you she wrote this herself, to the American people, and to move this case forward as quickly as possible, Wade wrote. And this is the letter right here. So shall we read this loser's? Let's read what this loser had to say. Let's read it. I don't even know if I want to read it. Could I blow this up? I can't really see this. I can't see this. It's too small. It's too small for me to read. I'm not going to download it. Wait, hold on. I think I could blow it up this way. Oh, no, this isn't what I want. Anyway, forget it. I don't want to read what this loser had to say. I don't care. I don't care. Honestly, I'm sick to death of this stuff. Sick to death of them. Anyway, we'll end on the note where if you want to get this song for free, you can go ahead to rehdogg.bandcamp.com and spread the love. Let people know about this ghetto fabulous woman, if you want to call her that.
Scott McAfee said in a radio interview, when his boy grows up, he will tell him you called it straight. Wait, hold up, what you talking about? It's obvious she lied under oath. You should accuse yourself. You give money to her campaign. Now you're here, then again, your people have no shame. Fannie G. Willis, the G is for ghetto. Sky, hear me though. Yo, McAfee the coward, bro. Y'all hear me though. McAfee the coward, bro. Y'all hear me though. Nathan tap that, yo. They both ghetto though. Y'all are so ghetto, bro. Random thoughts, politics.